Okay, sir, you can start.
Okay. So, good morning, all dear teachers. So, welcome to this third online informative session on teacher is the source and foundation of entrepreneur by Dr. Amiya Bhaumik. So, without wasting time, I request our General Secretary, Professor Subhash Athavale, to introduce today's speaker. Athavale sir, please.
Yes. Good morning, all dear teachers and friends who have joined for this online lecture. Dr. Amey Bhaumik, who is going to present today, he is the eminent personality and he is Vice Chancellor and CEO of Lincoln University College, Malaysia. The college is very well known, and this has got connectivity to more than 17 countries throughout the world. Dr. Bhaumik has got expertise in many of the subjects, and he is a wonderful orator, and he is a very kind person as well. I have got an opportunity to listen to him on number of occasions, and I could I could express my sincere thanks to him. Has got connectivity to more than 17. He has given this opportunity to readily accepted our request to talk to all of our teachers and to enlighten through his wonderful talk with all of us. Without taking much of your time, yeah, one announcement I will make: all those teachers who have joined, logged in to, they have to send their details and they also need to be logged in through pathlive.com. That is one. And secondly, we have already circulated the link for registration. If they will register, then they will get the certificate. Also, they need to give their attendance online so that we will cross check and it will be easy for us to distribute the certificate. Now, without wasting further time, I would request Dr. Amey Bhaumik, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to start with his session. Thank you.
Sir, sorry, Ashish Dikshit here. One request, that instruction of attendance got a little blurred. So if you can just repeat that instruction of attendance once before starting, that's a request.
Thank you, Ashish sir. We have already circulated the list on our groups. So if those who have already registered, for them, they need to give online attendance so that it will be easy for us to check online, and then we will issue the certificates to all those who have attended the session. That is what the announcement is. Now, I would request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to start with this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Subhasji. And good morning to all of you. And I'm grateful to Mumbai University and the College Teachers Association of Mumbai University as well. It is my pleasure to be in front of all of you. Now, before we could start anything, we should pray for the people who are suffering, for their speedy recovery during COVID-19 throughout the world. And also we should pray for the people who have left this wonderful world during COVID-19. Today, basically, I'm going to discuss teacher is the source and foundation of entrepreneur. This all over the world, we have been talking about entrepreneur. We have been talking about creating jobs and quite a number of topics, sentences we were talking before COVID-19. But the COVID-19 and post-COVID-19, we will have to look at entrepreneur in a different perspectives. And to start with, teaching profession, I will try to link how we all as a teacher, I myself always categorize that I'm a teacher, not as a professor, associate professor, lecturer, teacher. That's my identification. And what is our profession? It's a noble profession, and we are often engaged in service of humanity. During COVID-19 and post-COVID-19, we should look into this entrepreneurial is not just making wealth for an individual and or single family, but it should be treated as service to the humanity. Social distancing is no longer simply you and me, but we all ourselves, a kind of service to the humanity. So my purpose of today's discussion with you all, that throughout the world, we'll be talking now more onto entrepreneur, but who is responsible for creation of entrepreneur? We, the teacher. And teachers should take that shoulder of responsibility. It's not government. It's not individual state government. It's not a company. The purpose of saying that to all of you, my friends, that we are creating the future citizen in our classroom. When a student comes to our classroom, they look at us, that we are their guidance, we are their parents, and how we are going to mold them, how we are going to train them to challenge tomorrow or the future. But if we teach her from the beginning in the class, we do not mold them, we do not create a basic foundation in their life as an entrepreneur, it will be very difficult for that student who graduates to become entrepreneur. Why currently all over the world, every government is saying that we are shortage of entrepreneur, we are shortage of SMEs and etc. That's because a child, when they come to our class, we do not groom that child to become an entrepreneur. Rather, we groom that student either pessimistic, most of the time, that, oh, this examination is going to be very, very hard, you cannot pass. This pessimistic attitude, we need to take it out from in our teaching curriculum or teaching perspectives. We have to groom them from the day one optimistic. If you have your children, those children, we should groom them from the day one, nothing but optimistic. And that optimistic is the true characteristics of entrepreneur. Now, who will be teaching? If a child or your own children, if you do not teach them from the day one of optimistic, day one to become an entrepreneur, you will not be able to train that particular children when they become adult, when they cross teenager, when they are becoming 25 years. So that's what I thought I will share with you all, that how teacher can be the source of inspiration to make your student as an entrepreneur, not depending on the government, that government should help to become entrepreneur. And no, we as the teachers should take the responsibility. So that's what we call characteristics of teacher. Teach the mind through the heart. We as a teacher, when you should go to the class, we should understand each and every student in my class. And by understanding each and every student in the class, we should speak into their heart, that particular student, that what this particular student is expecting. Accordingly, we should speak to ourselves. Let me quote: a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops.
VC sir, sorry, this is Ashish here. I am intervening in between.
Sure.
Just one request, that the presentation, the PPT slide has to be on presentation mode so that it will get the full screen.
Oh, okay, all right.
That is one request. And I am just getting a lot of queries about what is the procedure of online attendance. So I am just repeating that procedure of online attendance. All the attendees are requested to type their name, the name of their college, and a screenshot of the transmission and send it to the WhatsApp number given. I am repeating the instructions for online attendance. All the attendees need to type their name, the name of the college, and the screenshot of the transmission, and WhatsApp these three things on the WhatsApp number given. That will be considered as online attendance. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
Sir, from current slide, you need to just type, slideshow from current slide.
Current slide. Okay.
Yeah, from current slide. Yes, that one.
Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. And I could relate to my teacher who has influenced me today where I am. And throughout my life, be it my primary, be it my secondary, be it my tertiary, I have never ever come across any teacher who has told me that I cannot do anything. Teachers has always influenced me, characterized me that, Amia, you have a potential strength that you can be a leader. You can be something. And I want to just add on, when I was a small child, 12 years old, my parents asked me, son, what do you want to be? And I said, I want to travel throughout the world. And my parents asked me, how would you be? Because you are not able to concentrate that much. I said, maybe I will become somebody's servants or maid, and that he will take me all over the world. At that time, my parents, they said, this is the last and first time we want to hear from you that you will be depending on someone who will be taking all over the world. Since then, my parents, my teachers have never ever told me except positive. And until now, I have traveled more than 110 countries in the world, not as a tourist, but more for my work. That kind of words we as a teacher constantly should be whispering to our students, and that will affect the eternity of the students. And that you will never know your students where they will stop your influence. Now, as a teacher, what is our quality all about? We demonstrate confidence. We have life experiences. We understand each student's motivation. And we teacher behave like human, do not show pride like heroes. We are technically capable. We are risk takers. We model various kind of risk. We focus always on important stuff, and we are not worried too much about what administrators think about us. I'm sure we all teachers would know that. We don't care about what administrators say. We go to the class, how much we can interact with the students and how much students can benefit. Okay. This is another teacher. The circle. We do choice of example, choice of task, teachable moments, modeling, questioning, use representation. We believe what is to be numerate pupil, how pupils learn to become numerate. And these are few of these, our action oriented. We connect challenges, all pupils, teach for understanding, purposeful discussion, focus on mathematics, positive attitude. This is an interesting slide. We teacher plan. We do action. We observe how students are performing. We review. We reflect. The entrepreneur exactly do the same thing. Entrepreneur needs to plan, needs to take action, observe, review, reflect. So this particular slide basically combining teacher is just simply not a teacher, he or she is also an entrepreneur. This is a classic example about a teacher, about an entrepreneur. The true teacher, they take always challenges. And true entrepreneurs, they also take the challenges. The entrepreneurs is not just simply making money. entrepreneurs is just not balance it, always make money, creation of wealth. Entrepreneurs are nothing but learn how to walk on a strange path, learn how to jump into the ocean and swim over the ocean, learn to take the Mount Everest. That's the entrepreneur, taking risk. Same way, teacher is equally risk takers. I've given here two comparisons, taking from, of course, internet. Teacher teaching kids to serve others. Character in action. I'm sure all of you agree with me that we are teaching our students, our children, is to build a character, a good character. And an entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff. Look at this from this mountain, jumping off the cliff, and builds a plane on the way down. That's the entrepreneur. And teacher is exactly that, real risk of building a good character, good citizen, not only for their own country, but for the global human resources. So there is not much differences between a teacher and entrepreneur. Rather, entrepreneur, we are talking nowadays like, oh, after graduation, or who are making a business or creating wealth, he is an entrepreneur. To me, teacher is the most important entrepreneur in the world. The teacher, he or she himself is the greatest entrepreneur. Teacher is he or she is the greatest human to serve others. Entrepreneur is nothing but servicing others actually. How? A single person creating a business and employing thousands of employees, giving jobs, taking care of their family. The entrepreneur is more worried that how their staff can be paid their salary on time. So is he not service to the humanity? Of course, now it is thinking about his wealth, but before he makes his wealth, he is thinking that how his employees are safe during COVID-19 and how he can continue to give the jobs to his employees post COVID-19. That's the entrepreneur. So nothing but servicing to the humanity. But we always intend to think, no, entrepreneur is nothing but he or she is making money. Teacher, actually, without thinking much, he is thinking how I can build my students a great leader, how my students can become a great person on the earth. Let's look at characteristics of successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a risk taker, vision, creativity, and innovation. entrepreneur, relevant skills and expertise. Spot and take advantage of opportunities. Passion. These two are very important. You must have a passion. You should like it. Teacher, you may or may not get that much of salary, but you love to be a teacher because you see that you can serve the humanity and you take the risk. No daunted by failure. Entrepreneur, they take no for any kind of answer, always yes. An entrepreneur, the motivation to succeed. Entrepreneur, a determination and persistence. Now, as a teacher, we should give various kind of assignments, various kinds of model, various kinds of science quiz, various kind of social science activities where these quality of your student can be exposed from the very beginning of the classes. Not that when your child has graduated, get a medical degree, and after medical degree from any other countries other than India, and then come back and asking him to become entrepreneur, how can we? It often say, if from morning to evening, if we eat onions, so when we go to bed for sleeping, the smell will come out onion. But if we eat laddu from morning to evening, the smell will give us laddu. So therefore, we need to take those ideas into action. As a teacher, we should inculcate through various kind of theoretical, practical, simulation, debate, seminar. These characteristics of entrepreneur should be implemented. We should train them. By doing so, I give you guarantee that each and every student will become entrepreneur. I'll give you a classic example. Our Lincoln University here in Malaysia, they go for road shows of the secondary schools in Malaysia. So one day, our marketing group, our faculty members went, and I also went to one of the secondary schools. And one student, he asked our faculty of computer science, sir, if I pass out from your faculty, if I have a BSc in computer science, how much I can earn? So our faculty said, okay, as a graduate, fresher, you will earn 2,000 ringgit, which is roughly $600 a month. 600 US dollars, that means roughly in Indian rupees, almost like 45,000 rupees a month. So then he said, so little. Then he said, okay, look, you will get a bachelor degree and people give you a job immediately. You cannot be expecting. You know what he said? He said, actually, sir, right now I am earning monthly a minimum 1,500 US dollars to 2,000 US dollars a month. So our faculty members got something puzzled. So how can it be? And mind you, that particular student is in the final year of O-level. Now our O-level is 11 years. final year of O level. So that student is only 17 years old and he is already earning $1,500 a month. How? This boy is a Chinese boy. And this boy's parents, he said, how you're earning? He said, my parents from the year 8 is teaching me how to become an entrepreneur. And he had set up his own website, and through his website, he had channeled to a camera shop. So anybody buys camera through his website, the camera manufacturer gives him commission. So that's the entrepreneurial zeal. How did he come up at the age of 17 years? That's because the parents have been teaching them, and his school teacher also teaching them. So therefore, we as a teacher constantly need to monitor about these characteristics of successful entrepreneur. Be it a graduate, Mumbai University graduate students, they are coming out. Give them various kind of ideas so that they can inculcate. Look at entrepreneurial characteristics. Enterprising person must be creative, must be goal-oriented, must be always optimistic. This is an important characteristics of human being. Be it entrepreneur, be it a teacher, be it a businessman, be it a small child. Keep on all the time, even he or she does a blunder, still keep on groom him, keep on train him, nothing but optimistic that you can conquer the world. That kind of spirit we should be teaching, that you will be conquering the world. And you will be like a Mahatma Gandhi. That kind of optimistic all the time we should be talking. Must be flexible, must be must be visionary. And this visionary is nothing but service to the humanity. Able to get along with others, self-confident, perceptive, hardworking, motivated, resourceful, able to manage risk. So this circle of entrepreneurial characteristics is so important in our life, and we should do this. Entrepreneur, these are 4 important characteristics must have. To become a manager, must be a marketer. Knowledge, the competitive advantage, innovator, must be thinking always innovator. Teacher entrepreneur. Manager, online, offline, teachers, administrators. As a teacher entrepreneur, you are an innovator right now. We cannot go to the class. Let's deliver. And I appreciate Suvaji, the secretary of Mukta, that he contacted me and said, why not? We will have this addressing to the Mumbai University Teachers Association. And I must tell you, Lincoln University has signed an MOU with Mumbai University. And we had a plan that we should be talking one day to the Teachers Association of the university, and how Subhasji is so creative and innovative. He said, Amir sir, let's take this opportunity. And I said, why not? What a golden opportunity. And that's what is about entrepreneurial thinking. We had an idea after signing MOU that all teachers will have access to the Lincoln Research, Lincoln PhD Matter. All of you can enroll for PhD, and you can get research funding as well through Lincoln. So we had those ideas long back, but COVID-19 has shelved. But look at these entrepreneurial ideas of Mukta, most importantly, Subhasji, he came up and I said, let's do it. So that's called innovator, the innovative ideas. The teacher should always have innovative ideas. Take the opportunity. And I don't think physically I will be able to reach. Right now, today, we have more than 1,000 of participants in this online discussion. COVID-19, a lot of things are going to happen. No, we should not allow any kind of pessimistic thought process in our lifestyle. Every problem is nothing but opportunity, and that's called optimistic. But if we constantly negate pessimistic, oh my goodness, COVID-19, what are you going to do? We may lose my job after COVID-19. That thought process need to take out under any circumstances. Even I know myself, I'm going to die tomorrow, confirm. But that doesn't mean today I do not want to live. That is tomorrow. We'll figure out tomorrow. And I remember when I used to live in Paris, and one of the ministers said, look, somebody asked him, so how you are going to handle tomorrow if this problem comes? You know what he said? Hello, my friend, let the river comes, I will put up the bridge. Look at optimistic thought. Problem comes tomorrow, that doesn't mean today I don't want to live. And today I'll be living with full spirit. That's optimistic. That's the teacher entrepreneur. And we all teacher constantly monitoring, constantly whispering like a mantram. Guru is giving mantram to the disciple all the time, nothing but optimistic, nothing but boy, daughter, children, students, you can conquer the world. That message constantly, like a guru mantram, should be telling to our kids, and I guarantee you they will conquer the world. Look at this teacher. As a teacher, you take full pride of making your lectures as best as you can, but you never expect the result that all students will become Mahatma Gandhi or Bill Gates or some great saint. We teacher enjoy the whole process of teaching. We cannot be frustrated in the class when a student is not able to perform and then they say, hey, we cannot. We have to think ourselves, maybe my teaching process is not good. Maybe my teaching process need to be innovative so that that student can understand me very well, instead blaming the student. So what we need to do this, the process of teaching, rather than expecting result which is uncertain. So what is happening? A student for some reason got less grade in your first test. That does not mean we have to conclude that student is not going to get good result. And so what we need to do, that's where come mentor-mentee. That's where come special coaching. The process of teaching as a teacher. What does entrepreneur does? Entrepreneur often get swayed by their end result, that is the vision, and rely on its success too much. They forget it is the pivotal to enjoy the whole process rather than just hoping for something that they do not know is anyway uncertain. I'm going to introduce very soon that how our religious scriptures teaches us to be entrepreneur. And most of the entrepreneur give up very fast. Why? They don't get the result which they expected. Demotivated. Role of teachers to students as entrepreneurs. Teacher's role is to remind the student that optimistic idea is not wrong, but without actions. So what does it mean without actions? That students are telling that I will get A+, but he doesn't work hard. That's the action. So you have good optimistic, but action. And what you saw, the process of teaching. So in students, the process of effort. So what we have to look at the process. Teachers should inculcate amongst the student the art lies in walking the tight rope and enjoy doing it. If the student who walks the literal tight rope is scared or too excited, he or she will certainly fall. The trick to his or her success is that he or she enjoys it while works in order to reach the other end successfully. Actions, process, tightrope walking, and that walking time, concentration is most important work. Whether you are going to reach or not, that's a different thing. So must the action. Now, I will talk about how that actions is taught us in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verses 47. Karmane badhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetu bhuma te sangast karmani. A wonderful verses Krishna has told Arjuna, and Arjuna said, look, I'm not going to fight with my friends, relatives to action. So then Sri Krishna said, you have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction. So teacher and entrepreneurs should learn from this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 247, that there are 4 instructions regarding the science of work or art of living. Do your duty, but do not concern yourself with the results. Right to perform, but not entitled to the actions. Even while working, give up the pride of doership and do not be attached to inaction. Teachers and entrepreneurs are often gets demotivated, which I discussed in my previous slides. As they demotivated because they do not get the result quickly or fail to get the result first time. So Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna that, look, you must have tremendous patience. You must have perseverance and to be persuaded by the process of working. So as a teacher, our job is to teach from our hearts, process of working, and not by result, but enjoy the process of reaching goal, getting fruits. So what this Gita is teaching us, which we all read, all of us, at least once a day, Gita, but we should practice that Gita sloka in action. To me, Gita should not be kept in a museum. Like morning I read, keep it there. No, I should practice the Gita in my life. And that's called practicing. We must teach our children in the class this particular sloka that, look, my friends, that be patient, be perseverance, and to be persuaded by the process of working, not because I'm going to get a big result, which you may or may not get. And that's where the demotivation comes in. So this sloka is basically giving all of us a great motivation that, look, you have a right to work, but you have no right to expect the action. And what Swami Vivekananda puts it, work is worship. We teacher, when we go to the class, that is our work. And that work we should be treating worshipping. And worshipping whom? The humanity. Work is worship. I will elaborate more onto my last slide, that how Rig Veda has taught us to be entrepreneur and has taught us that how we can serve the humanity while living in this world. Now let's look at Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verses 22. Vasamsi jirnani jatha vihaya navani grinnati naro parani tatha saridani vihaya jirnani anyani sangjati navani dehi. What does it mean? Literal meaning, as a person sheds worn out and wears new ones. Likewise, at the time of death, the soul casts off its worn out body and enters a new one. Sri Krishna basically comparing rebirth with everyday activities. When garments become torn and useless, we discard them in favor of new ones. We go and buy new clothes. But in doing so, we do not change ourselves. So the old clothes we throw out, buy the new, but we don't change our human body. So in summary, our birth is versatile. And we are learning to adjust and adapt to change from old to new. But we are the same soul. So the old clothes we have thrown out, new clothes we have bought. Now we are changing to the new clothes. First day, you give a trial in the shop, whether this particular cloth works or not. So after trialing, then you come back home, you use that new clothes, keep on using. And after 2 months, 3 months, you forget that old clothes, that it ever exists with you. Let us try to understand a little baby. You will find it sometimes become happy, sometimes sad, and sometimes fearful without any apparent reason. Do you know why? The psychologists explain that the little baby is remembering its past life, and that's why, and hence experiencing these emotions. However, as it grows up, the baby grows up, the impressions of the present life are imprinted so strongly upon its mind that they erase most memories. That's what entrepreneur. I would like to show you what is happening, that entrepreneur able to get along with others, visionary, goal-oriented, able to manage risk. And these are all, everything is explaining over here. That erase most past memories. That means entrepreneur and teachers, they should be ready to adjust their life as and when it comes the global situation. Now, COVID-19, post-COVID, we have to lot of adjustment, but we should not be pessimistic. We should be optimistic to adjust and readjust after post-COVID-19. It is easy to say versatility and adaptation are the keys to success. But the biggest lesson for any teacher, entrepreneur is learning to adapt to changes quickly. Do not get stuck with your initial vision like a child. Learn to adapt, innovate, and improve new opportunities growing adult. So this is an important characteristics of a teacher, and we should teach our students. We need to treat every action of our life like a journey of a traveler who is not attached to the city nor hotel. Rather, we need to enjoy the experience of it all, tourism. Do not be adamant. Be innovative, open-minded, and ready to absorb experiences like sponge. The faster you adapt to a change, the better it is. Remember, change is the only constant. So that's the teacher. That's what I love it. Teacher, Rig Veda, and entrepreneur. The Rig Veda tells us, Atmana Mokshatam Jagat Hitayacha. What does it mean? One is to seek salvation for one's soul, and the other is to address the issue of welfare of the world. This motto also cements the two divergent and obvious aspects of Atman, soul, and Jagat Hitaya, service to humanity, which are to be achieved by one's own efforts. To achieve this, constant human effort is a requisite not only for one's own salvation, but also for providing service to the humanity at large. Now, what does it mean? We teacher, we want happiness. We want to see our students grow. We want to see our children become leader. We want to see children is something. Why we want to do this? Rig Veda very clearly said, we have to do this because we want our personal salvation. Now salvation, forget about this particular time of that religious term. If we want to take out the current terminology, I want to make myself rich. So to make myself rich, I have to service to the others. That's called service to the humanity. So my friends, I'm going to stop it very soon. Rig Veda itself has taught us to be entrepreneur. So entrepreneur, the terminology, it is not now the government, the society, the parents are talking about, but name it all our religious scientists, all our religious proponent leader has told us to be an entrepreneur, to be a teacher. For why? Atmano mokshatham. That means I want to salvage myself. I want to be happiness. Happiness doesn't mean all the time money. Happiness doesn't mean wealth. Happiness could be my friends and relatives are getting richer. That could be happiness. So the definition of happiness varies from one to another. For me, happiness, I want to see salvation of my own soul. But for another person, happiness could be, hey, I want to be a rich like Ambani. So it depends upon individual. So to have that happiness, we have to practice Rig Veda's philosophy that to salvage, to be happy, we must serve the humanity. And that's exactly, and that only can be done what Swami Vivekananda keeps on telling us: treat your work is worship. Do not think work because you want to earn the money to feed my children. No. Work is a process, and that process is nothing but worship. And we are going to serve the humanity, and that could be in the form of my family, my neighbor, my children. So with that, I'm going to stop here. Love to have your questions, answers. And Lincoln University vision, mission, philosophy revolves around these, whatever I have discussed with you. Our staff, our students constantly monitors these philosophy into action in a very, very different angles. As such, we have 30 over countries. We deliver our programs, collaboration programs. I mean, which you may not have gone to Afghanistan. I go to Afghanistan because Lincoln University's programs are there. My students are their university lecturers, teachers, they join with our PhD. We are offering Somalia, Mogadishu. I go there every 3 months. Why I go there? Because our vision, mission pushes us to go there. So that kind of, we teachers should take the responsibility, creating our students as entrepreneurs. I must say, my students in Somalia who pass out, they work for United Nations. And that makes us so happy. This is what we should be all doing that together. So with this, my friends, we look forward. Let us be teacher, entrepreneur, and practice our ancient scriptures, philosophy, which has taught us to be a teacher, entrepreneur, so that we can create many such entrepreneurs in the world, and we remove all types of social misery from each and every human being. Let us pray together that people who are suffering from COVID, that they should have speedy recovery. They should not leave us. And those who have left, we pray for them. They can be united with the Supreme Soul. Thank you all, and God bless. Thank you, Subhasji.
Sir, this is Ashish here. I think it was a fantastic lecture and huge response has come. So can we start the question answer session, sir?
Sure, by all means.
Okay, so I will just give the process of asking questions. In the meanwhile, some questions have already come to me. So the way the process of asking questions is you have to just type your question, your name and your college name, and send it to the same WhatsApp number, and then we will put it up to Honorable VC sir. That's the process. So sir, I'm taking the first question that has come up. It's asked by Dr. Manali Londhe, in charge principal SK Somaya College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Mumbai. And her question is how to reach and motivate every student in a bigger classroom of 130 students at a time. That's the question. How to reach and motivate every student in a bigger classroom of 130 students at a time. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Manali. Manali, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. A wonderful question. You know how I handle? I do have students when I go to Somalia, because I love teaching. And no matter whatever administrative jobs I have, I will teach at least one class in a semester in any country. So what I do, I divide into small groups. I don't teach too much myself in the classroom. I make sure these small groups are teaching me. These small groups are taking the role of entrepreneur. Each of my assignment, if I am teaching, say for MBA marketing project, marketing or human resource, so I will create the chapter because it's pre-planned in advance. I will take the chapter, I will study through, I will bring the assignment and incorporate some of these entrepreneurial activities in advance. I will give the small group in advance. They will prepare at home. Then they will come into the classrooms and we will have like full day workshop. Then everybody is involved. And the rule of the group is not one person is talking. All the members of the group must be talking to that assignment so that everybody is able to hear the communication process of the students, and as well as students do understand that they are into the process. So I understood the difficulties, but this is how I have come up, that each and every student must go through the process, that walking on the tight rope, which I discussed in my karmanne badhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, going through the process. That's what I'm doing it, Dr. Manali. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Just an instruction for Deepak from Parth. Please unmute all the organizers. Deepak from Parth, please unmute all the organizers. Yeah, sir, some more questions have come up. So let me just read out another question to you, sir.
Sure.
So there is a quote actually from, there is a statement sent by Professor Suhasini Iyengar from SIWS College, Mumbai. And she's saying that I had an amazing takeaway of the establishment of the link between academics and mythology. So that's what she's saying. And yes, there is a question from Dr. Pallavi Shah, NKTT College of Commerce, College of Arts. She's saying it's a very enriching session. And the question is, my question is, what are the strategies at college level you have implemented to make students entrepreneur? I'm repeating her question. What are the strategies at college level which you have implemented, sir, to make students entrepreneur? Any specific policies for ex-students? Please let us know.
Thank you very much. Wonderful question. I love these questions. Okay, before I go on, Ashish ji and Subhash ji, I have a colleague here who has joined. You can see Srini, and he is from Australia, Sydney, and he is our Chief Operating Officer for Lincoln University in Australia. So we are doing something in Australia. So I thought I introduce Brother Srinivas.
Thank you and welcome, sir.
Okay. All right. So you need to unmute, Brother Srini. You need to unmute if you want to say anything.
Yeah.
No, cannot hear. Okay, you can talk now.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you.
Sir, fantastic. And we appreciate that you have joined, and welcome to this wonderful session by Dr. Amey and the teachers from Mumbai University area, and I think all over Maharashtra. And I can say now that all over India, they have joined this session. This is just for your information, sir. Srini, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ashish.
Over to Amey, sir. Yeah.
Ashish, thank you for the question that how we have implemented Entrepreneurs College. Now, in our university, it is a mandatory for all students. As you know, we have Faculty of Medicine, we run MBBS, we run dentistry, we run pharmacy, we run nursing, engineering, technology, 12 faculties, 80 over courses, including PhD courses. Students will not be able to graduate. Students will not be able to get their certificate if they do not go through 2 compulsory modules.
Dr. Vaibhav, म्हणजे ते मुक्ता म्हणून दिले बघा, मुक्ता असोसिएशन, डॉक्टर वैभव. अच्छा, त्यांना स्वतःहून करायला लागेल का ना? ओके.
One is entrepreneur and one is community service. Our dental students, they have to come up with entrepreneur project. Our medical students, they have to come up with entrepreneur project. We teach them to be part of entrepreneur. So as a result, we see that they are gradually, some of our, I just yesterday, we are having lockdown and I went to grocery shop. I saw my ex-dental graduate student. So I asked him yesterday, what are you doing? How is your practicing? Sir, I have started my own dental clinic. And what I have done within 2 years, I have franchised my dental clinic in 5 cities. Look at this entrepreneur. And he has graduated only last year. So that's how you need to incorporate. It's a mandatory for all our students. That's how we are. And community service, it is a mandatory so that they can link with the community what is happening. So all students, they must go through. That's we have introduced, sir. Thank you, Ashish.
Sir, just one observation. We also have representation from Mizoram.
Okay. Good.
So Northeast is also represented. So that's something interesting, I thought. Now, so there is another question. Now, this question is from Professor Hirendra Soni, IES Management College and Research Center, Mumbai. And his question is, sir, how to motivate students for entrepreneurship? Because majority of them come with a mindset of taking up a job. I'm repeating, how to motivate students for entrepreneurship? Because majority of them come with a mindset of taking up a job.
You know what I did in Afghanistan, Kandahar. I have a program in Kandahar and I was there. So what I did, I told the teachers, call all the parents and give them optimistic ideas. Because in Afghanistan, because of the war torn, they cannot think any positive thinking at all. So what I did, I got all the parents and have a particular parents, their relatives, and we had a 6 days interactive courses that parents and the guidance or the teachers should be motivated first. And once we motivated first 6 days, then next 2 weeks, we had a camp of those particular students. And in that camp, nothing but various kinds of entrepreneurial simulation project we created. So after 1 month, we brought the parents and their students together. In that camp, what we did, we allowed to talk nothing but optimistic. No one is allowed to give any kind of pessimistic. So first 2 days, we had a rehearsal. And then we went to that. And doing that kind of role model and simulation, we see that these my Afghan children and Somalian children, more entrepreneurial motivation and so forth. So what I have seen that instead of focusing only the students, because in the students, we administrator, we teachers, we are trying our best to motivate, but they go back home, the parents will give sometimes very pessimistic, then students get demotivated. So what we need to create the entire society more optimistic rather than only in the classroom. And I give you another classic example of my student, a student who came from Bangladesh in 2005, the only son. After graduating, he said he wanted to stay back in Bangladesh. I chased him away. I said, no, you go back to Bangladesh. He said, sir, what do I do in Bangladesh? Nothing is there, and I cannot do anything. Today, he is the owner of 3 schools. And those 3 schools, each school has 1,000 students. And from that students, he is running 2 charitable dispensary, 2 charitable schools. His father calls me. He said, what have you done to my son? I said, why? He said, he was the most useless guy. Now he is running schools. So what we need to have that, create the environment is not in the class only, but environment in the societal level. Then you will see the effect of motivation. What we often look at only individual, we have to look at the society. That's my experience, sir. Thank you.
So we'll take the last question and then we'll wind up this session. Ashish,
Sure.
sir,
Yes, sir.
last question, please.
Yes, sir. So the last question, I'm just taking the last question, sir. This question has been asked by Professor Ritika Sachdev from CHM College, Ulhasnagar. And sir, the question is, how to make students focus on the topic in the classroom in the present times of attention deficiency syndrome, even though we teachers make it very interesting. I'm repeating the question. How to make students focus on the topic in the classroom in the present times of attention deficiency syndrome?
Okay. You see, what need to be done, as I said in one of the questions, that nowadays, I always go to the class, 90% I tell them, class, you are my teacher, I'm a student. That works absolutely fine. And I have my own class rule. Class rule is that anybody comes to the class, after 5 minutes of the timetable, has to sing a song. I'm giving you, it's all innovative ideas to make them interested to your class, to make them participate in the class. Now, even if I come late 5 minutes, I have to sing a song. So what happened? The first time I purposely will go late so that I sing a song. So what happens during the entire semester, none of the students like to come late. And I never ever deduct their marks for any kind of indiscipline. I have a rule that if you come late, you have to sing a song. So nobody wants to come late. So attention, if you don't come to my class in a semester more than 2 times, third time you have to sing a song. And in my class, why I did that? Because in my class, it's a presentation. It's a seminar style delivery. So a group cannot do anything if they don't study. So suppose I am a group, I have a presentation today, and say in my class 5 groups, each group mandatory must ask question to me. It's a mandatory. If they don't, they have to sing a song. And I tell you, nobody likes to sing a song. So therefore, it is a forcefully you are disciplining them to ask the question. So your class become a real interactive rather than I go and teach for 2 hours. That's how I make my class interactive, focused, and I have seen almost 90% good result of doing such kind of interaction patterns, sir. I hope, I mean, these are individual. You have to create your individual innovative process, how it works. You have to give a trial. But this is what I do. I get fantastic attention. I hope managed to answer all your questions, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
If you have all of you, just a second. If all of you anything, most welcome. You have my email ID, WhatsApp, Subhashji or Ashishji will give you. I will be more than happy to interact and happy to answer any question or anything. Thank you, sir, and God bless all of us.
Yeah, sir. We'll share your all the informations to our teachers, and it's a wonderful sessions. We got the Gita verses also, that is Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya Cha. Service to other is service to humanity. So basically, teacher should be a good entrepreneur that is the inner voice. And we believe that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Sarvatra Sukhina Santu. So thank you for this wonderful session. Now, I request the Athavale sir, please give the vote of thanks and we'll wind up these sessions. Athavale sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Vaibhav sir. I think the session today by Dr. Ameya Bhaumik was really an enlightening one, because the teachers who have attended today's session, they must have got the understanding of what teaching is and how to give the performance at the time of teaching. There were several questions from different part of the country from the teachers, and I think Dr. Ameya took not a single minute to respond to all those queries. He had enlightened us and he had given a good comparison between Bhagavad Gita, then Rigveda, and what Dr. Swami Vivekananda said, that work is worship. I think if we carry the message which we have got from the today's session, and which is an outcome, which is our ancient literature, that is from Bhagavad Gita, Rigvedas, and Swami Vivekananda, I think we would be able to perform better in all our activity, in all our teaching. And I think the total devotion, if we give to our job, that will help us to create and the students which are becoming entrepreneurs at the end. That is the end product which we can expect. I formally thank you, Dr. Ameya Bhaumik, for his wonderful session, wonderful presentation, and the creative slides which he had prepared for the entire session. I will not forget to thank Dr. Ashish, who had made it possible to take our voice to all over the country, to all the participants which are participating. I take this opportunity to thank all the participants without whom this session would not have enriched. Thank you very much. I look forward to have again such kind of enlightening session for our teachers, and I definitely see that Lincoln University can give us a lot for the teachers community in India and Indian universities. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all of you.
Over to Ashish sir.
Thank you, sir. I think Deepak, transmission is stopped now. Deepak,
Yes, sir.
transmission stopped now. Have you stopped transmission?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, sir. So now that the transmission is stopped, it's it was actually a pleasure to organize this kind of a meeting and broadcast, because what a couple of things I just wanted to share. One thing is, of course, the topic, but unfortunately I was not able to concentrate 100% on the lecture because the WhatsApp has been flooded with